Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lzaicher Nishmas Rebbitzen Mordechai. Dear Rebbe, you have continued to change my life and my entire family life. Please see attached video that I posted to my status, your Talmud, Morty Gable. Rabbi Isai, check out this video. Very interesting thing he's saying here. You ready?
So ever since learning with Rabbi Eli, I have not even thought about the fact that it was the Hebrew anniversary of when I started Megillah Daf Beis was on Asar B'Tevis. So just to give you an idea, I didn't even think about it. To me, it's not even impressive because, like what he said, it's a daily thing. And I don't think about it, and it's part of my day. And I'm not counting days. How long did I do? It doesn't matter. And I find it to be amazing that there was one thing in my life that I realized that I was like, wait a minute, like why should I celebrate that it's a year? To me, celebrating is if I did it today. If I did the daf today, that's celebrating. I didn't even think about it. I can go 5. I don't even know. I don't know how long ago. I go today. Actually, there's no commitment. In my mind, every day is a new day. And I don't commit, actually. I don't know how long I'm going to go with this. But it's today. If I do my daf today on Asar B'Tevis, Nedarim, we're good.
Very interesting. Good morning, Rebelli. Today on Asar B'Tevis is my 1-year anniversary since joining this amazing shir. I began by starting with the Mesechus Megillah on this day. There's somebody else. And have not looked back since. I have a lot of Akar Satayv to you and your team for amazing efforts to keep your Megillah Daf Yomi strong. To be honest, if not for your shir, I would not be able to continue learning the Daf on a daily basis. Baruch Hashem, da-da-da, a ganze Zach. Okay. And then a friend of mine posted on a status about your shir. I looked at the shir, so you charge illustrations, if I connection to the shir. This happened after I came back from my Yisroel. So my journey began on Asar B'Tevis, but then I had to figure out when to learn. Bekitzer, he learns 5:45 a.m. and he has kfiyus. He sits down at 5:45 a.m. and on Thursday nights, at Matzah Shabbos, I watch the shir live on Zoom. It's enjoyable to stay on after the shir to schmooze with you in the Olam. I love the camaraderie and the chevra that MDY has to offer. Whether it's the local New York City Siyum or the Siyum at Bellworks, it's so beautiful to see different types of backgrounds all coming together for one cause, to set aside time to learn Torah every day. It keeps on going. And now, unlike Rabbi Kass from yesterday, I feel that because I've set time to learn, my parnassah had taken a big leap, and a better husband and father to my 2 children, and a better educator to countless children who I encounter daily. Even my children know the Good Morning Rabbi Isai slogan, including my 16-month-old. She already knew this, around 11 months old. Mamish, I've made a lot of new friends since joining MDY, reacquainted with old ones. In addition, connection to David Feinberg from the days of networking. May Hashem give you a schus to give many more Yidden this ability to learn Torah and to be example to the Kivei Itim La Torah till 120 Gesundta years. Amen. Looking forward to seeing you in Miami in person. Kol Tov, Rabbi Yidi Schwartz. And here is the 11-month-old or the 16-month-old with the
Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
And she's holding the hat, if you notice. Okay. You know your MDY when you start dreaming that you're in shir and you woke up and where's the pizza? Because he's in the middle of his fast and he's dreaming that he's in shir with Eli Stefansky and Vikitzer, shake your... As in the middle of listening to somebody say, Pshat, he may as well should wait. A ganze Zach, a Talmud since before Brachas, a personal recruit of Rebelli, Yosef ben Zev, see you in Miami, Emir Hashem, beautiful, looking forward, Yosef. And this, Rabbi Isai, Chaim Guski. I just learned that in German, it's a J instead of an I. So he put this on a status. I didn't understand. I mean, I understood the first thing. Das Phänomen Eli Stefansky. That much I understood. And it said YouTube, 14,900. Call many Sachen like that. Little things like that. Okay. Besides that, Chabgunish Verstanden. And this is Rabbi Shlafrak together with Refuah the barber. Haven't heard from him in a while. Maybe he's giving in to Peretz Chaim Levin, the competition. He used to be number 1. We'll see. Maybe we'll make a little competition there. Says the Koilel is anonymous from Lakewood. The Masechta is Ein Sgula Katorvin Tומכיה כיעקב ויעל. The Parnassa Refuah, Refuah Sheleima, success and Parnassa Nachas from our children. Amen. I did not miss this yesterday. Common from the 5 towns. Milberg, Yortzeit, Menachem Mendel ben Simcha, a Talmud Chacham, Israeli war hero, Holocaust survivor. Check it out. I don't think I missed it. Maybe that's when it got cut off or something.
And then you got distracted because Avi Mendelbaum was on the screen. And then
Yeah, but I read his email, and his email says Mefurish, this whole thing. That I for sure said. Okay, we'll say it again. Lekavet Kalman from the 5 towns, our number 1 sponsor for years. Kalman from the 5 towns, Milberg, Yortzeit, Menachem Mendel ben Simcha, Talmud Chacham, Israeli war hero, Holocaust survivor. Mordechai Sapoznick, Lzaicher Nishmas Rebbitzen Rechul, Bas Horav Aharon, neshama have an aliyah. It should be a meiletz yosher for the entire mishpacha and all of Klal Yisroel. Yortzeit of my little sister Shifi. Yortzeit of my little sister Shifi. Shifra, Freda, aliyah, Shalom, Bas Rabbi Yisrael, Meir Shlita, sponsored by her brothers. She died from smoke at a fire in Muncie 24 years ago. L'schus, her neshama should have an aliyah. L'schus, parnassah, health and success. And the art is sponsored for the month for a complete Refuah Sheleima for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. We're holding Daf Ayin Aleph, 70 daf into the Masechta, a brand new Mishnah, which basically means a brand new Masechta. Masechtas Nedarim, starting today. Nadra vihi arusa. If a woman who's engaged, meaning she received money, a ring from her chassan, so she's an arusa in the time of the Gemara, she's a ishasish, but she's not married. All she's missing is chuppah. Once she's married, what happens, Rabbi Isai? She leaves her husband, her father's rishus, and there's no more hafaras nedarim from the father. But she's not married; she's just an arusa. Nizgarsha boy bayoim. So she got divorced. What's the day? So check this out right over here. What Yoshi did for this is very large ears. It's Shama. He heard. We're going to be talking about that the Shmiya is the Arus. The Arus heard it. But it could be the father. It could be the Arus. The Gemara says it's the Arus. So if somebody heard that there was a neder, once you hear it, doesn't matter when it happened. Let's say it happened 6 years ago, but you heard it today, the clock starts ticking, you have 1 day to be meifer. So the Arus, let's say, heard the neder. She got divorced, boy bayoim. She got divorced. That's why it says boy bayoim, because you only have that 1 day once the clock starts ticking. Why does the clock start ticking? Because there was a hearing, there was a shmiya, somebody heard the neder. Someone meaning the father or the arus. And now she gets engaged again. Even if there's 100 men. What's the halacha? Now, what's going on here? 100 men. So Yoshi did a very nice piece of art, I think, to give us a little geschmack here. This could be the future, by the way. This is the beginning of the future. Here, check this out. This is, he's showing large ears that go through the hat. They had to poke a hole in the hat. Okay. Now, who is poking fun? That's it amazing? It's better when you, bye-bye. Yeah. Appreciate it.
you didn't welcome me this morning either. Yeah, I did.
So, if you check this out, what's going on here is like this. There's a chuppah, and lachluchas is under the chuppah, and she's saying that there's a tremendous maimed here of a mitzvah. You can get engaged, get divorced, be mekayim the mitzvah l'shma, and all the money goes to kodesh, to the badats. In front, there's a ring machine. You could buy a ring for a pruta, and there's a lot of pashkevilin. And Rabbi Isai, here it goes. Let me show you what happens. Pay attention. They all start lining up. The bezin comes into place, and a mouse runs through. Should we do that again? No shaykhs. The mouse has no shaykhs to anything. Stop.
Why not?
Yeah.
Eli, you're on the base.
Here, I can do this slower.
Eli, you're on the base.
I am on the bezin. It's a bezin. Why is there a bezin at a erusin? You need edim but she's getting divorced here. You need a bezdin. Okay, that's down. No shaykhs. To engage the oil. Look, you're asking about it. Great. Okay, so now, that's why. If you had a shayla, why should we get married 100 times in that one day? It's once every 12 minutes. You have to get married, get divorced. No ksuba, nothing. Just get married, get divorced. I don't know if you noticed, but here's the Aharon, here's the Rishon. So the first guy in line, that's the Rishon, and the Aharon. Number 14 in this case, Zakla. Kol shelo yotza l'reshus atzma. If she didn't acquire her own domain, in other words, she's not a begeres, she didn't turn 12 and a half, and she's not a nesua, she didn't get married, even for one moment, l'reshus atzma sha'achas, then what's the halacha? Avia ubaloha achroin mefirim nedarim. We said this halacha yesterday in the Ran, and Judah David jumped out of his seat. Like, are you joking? Happens to be that I found here in the Ran, it's a pretty long Ran. The Ran says a svara here. I'm not saying this, we'll understand it 100%. He says, where is it? Like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines from the bottom by me. This is the reason we're going to see this later about when it becomes weak. Just over here explains when there's another engaged guy, we view this last guy, says the Ran, kikare the Rishon. He steps in instead of the first one. You're wondering, like, what does this guy have to do with? We're just saying a svara. You didn't miss anything. Saying a beautiful svara. How does the second engaged guy? Oh, he missed the whole thing. He took his kid to school. Look at this. I gotta show it to him. Hold on. You ready? Hold on. Here, look. You see what's going on here? And look at the mouse right now. Okay. You didn't miss anything. Fine. Oh, so we're over here. It should have been a rabbi, right? Why? How does number 14 come into the picture over here? What shaykhs? The neder was done by first guy. The first guy took over the neder. Where does he come in? Says the Ran Lashon. He's kikar the Rishon. He steps in. He's another engaged guy. He fits right into what the first guy was doing. Okay. Even though it's weaker, okay, it goes into that. We'll go into the weak and not weak in a few moments. Says the Gemara, Minalan the Arus Achroin Meifar Nedarim Sheniru LaArus Rishon. So says the Ran over here that this is Shmuel talking. This is Shmuel. Omar Shmuel Omar Kra. Shmuel started out this thing. In other words, Shmuel had a Kabbalah from his Rebbe, says the Ran, that an Arus who heard that there's a neder, he's mitzaref to the father. If the Arus heard about it, he knows about it, then you have to have a combination of a father and an Arus together, which is a big chiddush, right? So how do we know this? Omer Shmuel Amakra b'mhoyoi siel ish u'nedarim Nedarim shahayu aleh kvar. Says in the pasuk, u'nedarim the nedarim are already there. So if you look at the pasuk, it says like this: b'mhoyoi siel ish u'nedarim leha. The nedarim are on top of her; they're on her, and then it says all the way at the end of the pasuk, al nafsha, they're on her. So in other words, the aleh is not necessary. You can get without the aliyah. I know it's al nafsha. It's already the nedarim are on her. Why does it say on her twice in the pasuk? So we can say from here I learn this idea that they were there already beforehand, and even though they're there beforehand, the chasen, the aros, is mishtatev with the father to get rid of them. The father is not in full control. He needs to come onto the chasen. I could have shown you that. I don't know if it would have helped. When we learned the sugya a few days ago, we had the 3 parashas, the top parasha when this girl was under the father's complete rishus, then she became an arusa, and then she became an asua. So this pasuk is in when she became Arusa. We're talking about an Arusa, and it says in the Re'el, the Nedarim are already on her from beforehand. Says the Gemara, this is what's bothering everybody. Maybe this is talking about because the first guy that was engaged, he never knew about it. Where in the world does the second, 15th guy, 100th guy in line have any shaykhs, any connection to the neder that happened beforehand by the first engaged guy? If, let's say, we go, let's not, I'm throwing this out there. Not that this explains it, not that anybody ever said this. But let's say it has to do with a svara, like she made a neder, al dasa aros. Over here, we're not really talking about that. But again, what does the second aros have to do with the first aros? Alel kroyatiru. Sorry, so I should have said it here. This is where the Gemara says it. Alel kroyatiru, the extra alel, not in the beginning. That's where we learn it's an extra word, and this is exeris akosov. Yes, even though it doesn't make so much sense to us, but there's an extra word, and therefore we learn from that extra word that the oros, the second oros, he goes in combination with the father to be mater neder that had nothing to do with him. It happened beforehand. Now the Gemara brings it right. Keiעקב will say the Shmuel. Nairo. So geschmack to have some water. Yesterday, Mom was dried up. Tinus. Beautiful. Nairo. Were you asking if I made a bracha or not? No. Oh, okay.
Did you make a bracha?
I have no idea. I did? Okay, good. Thank you. Oh.
You know you're MDY. When the guy makes the bracha, doesn't have to make the bracha.
Tanya goes to the Shmuel. Naira moirasa, avia ubala mafirim nidarel. We have Naira, a 12-year-old between 12 and 12 and a half, who's engaged, ma'uros. You need a combination of the father and the husband to be meifin nidar. Ketzat. Shama avia ve'everlo. Here's the case. So the father heard, okay, he has big ears, he heard about it. Step 2, he was meifer it, he destroyed it. What happened to the chassan? Nothing. He doesn't have big ears, he didn't hear about it. But because they're engaged, the father needs to come onto the chassan. You need the chassan. But the problem is, the chassan, bye-bye. He's not around anymore. Let's speak about Shmoya at Shemeis. Vinisar so boy bayoim. And then she goes at the Levaya. This is worse than the worst things you could say at a Shiva house. This is at the Levaya. Somebody says, I have a great shidduch for you. Why are you so crying so much? Here. Oh, okay. She's Mekabel Kiddushin in the cemetery. So what's the halacha? Vinisar so boy bayoim. Afilu me'eh pa'amim. She went to be Mekayim a lot of mitzvahs. So over here, you see what you see on the bottom, it's small. Over here, you have two wrecking balls. You need the two of them, the father and the chassan. Why? Since the engaged guy died, so the father, we'll see in a second, the Gemara. The Gemara will explain it better than I'm going to explain it now. Says the Gemara like this. So that's the ratio, okay? We have case number 1. In both cases, not to get confused, in both cases, step 4 happens. The oros dies. The difference between case 1 and case 2 is who heard it exactly. In case 1, the father heard it, and before the chassan had a chance, the chassan went bye-bye. In case 2, we have the chassan heard it, and the chassan did his zafara. The father did not hear it, and then the chassan died. Let's see inside. Hold on. This is all Shmuel. Hold on a sec. Shama Bala. First, the Aros heard it. It's called Bala. Aros is very strong, like a husband. And he did his zafar. So again, over here, again, the same thing happened as in the first case where the Baal, the Arus, dies. Then the father who didn't do Afara at all, so the Lashon is a little interesting. It says, he has to redo the husband's, the Arus's portion, which means he has to redo both of their portions. Okay, so we have two cases here. We have a Reisha and a Seifa. The Reisha is where the father heard, the father's mefer, the husband dies. In that case, you need shutfus. You have another case where the husband heard, the husband was mefer, the father didn't hear, then the husband dies, so then the father by himself is mefer.
Is all within a day?
Yeah. All within B'yom Shama.
Why doesn't she go back to the father's reshus as soon as the Aris dies? She's back in her father's reshus. What does he need to? He's dead.
Okay. That's exactly what we're talking about. But she got engaged. She got engaged again. So here, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Now we're talking about it. So over here, what happens? Over here, the husband, the father is mefer the neder without the husband at all. Without the aris. So this is, we had a little bit of this. Hein divrei bishamai. This is going according to Bishamai. So it goes like this. The Ran says, we have two pshatim here in the Ran. We have the pshat that we're going to go with, and then we have Taisus. Says Bishamai, it says Rav Nassan, that the Seifa is Bishamai. In other words, the Reisha everybody agrees to. Everybody's going to agree in the Reisha. Shoma'av. Shoma'av, at the end of the day, there's shutfus. If the father heard, the father was mefer, the chassan died, it all goes b'shutfus. But Avo Beisil Oimrim ein yochel lahafer. You can't do it yourself. What? Hold on. Everything will be. We'll see in a second. But in this case, where the husband heard, the husband was mefer, and then the father didn't hear. The husband died, so the husband is mefer by himself. But still say no. The husband, the father's not mefer by himself like over here. This is what Beishamai hold. They still say not the father by himself, but you need shutfus. Okay. So now you hear? The machlokes is in the second case whether you need shutfus or just the father. That's what it says. That's what it means here. Ein yachal lahafer. Ein yachal lahafer doesn't mean he can't at all. It means he needs a partnership. He has to come on to somebody else. The chassan. The second chassan. We have a new chassan. We're trying to prove. What are we trying to prove here? We're trying to prove Shmuel's halacha that Judah jumped out of his seat yesterday. When you have a new chassan showing up, he got engaged at the cemetery. They're burying the first chassan. The second chassan shows up before she has a chance to go to Shiva. He gets engaged, and now he could annul and be mefer a neder that had nothing to do with him, had everything to do with the first chassan that died. And how does he do it? Together with the father. They go to the bezdin, the mefer right then and there before they go to Shiva. What's pshat?
And if there's no chassan, she stops.
Right. Let's. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Well, we'll see in a second. Now we just turned to Daf Ayin Aleph Amud Beis. It's short, but it's very long. We're doing the entire round. Don't worry about it. Kidding. Daf Ayin Aleph Amud Beis is sponsored by Greg Haber for Beracha, Parnassa, Hatzlacha for his entire family. and everyone learning the daf. And L'Hatzlacha for the members of the HBA Group and their families. Amen. So let's just say this about Peh for a second. Going back to the Machloikis of Megas Gayis and Miklash Kolish. What happens when one of the two partners in a neder, you have a father and an engaged man, and they both come together and they both have to be made for individually, the neder, on the day that they hear, on the day that one of them hears, actually. If one of them hears, the other guy has to do it that day. It's not on the day you hear, on the day he hears. Okay, fine. But what happens? Shaila we had is the one that's made for the neder, does he get rid of 50% completely? And then there's a solid piece of neder left, of 50% of the neder. Or, so it'd be like this, let's say it's 2 zaysim, so one remains and one is gone. And I'm going to use the zaysim as the example here, not the hamburger. Or miklish kolish, or does it become very weak? So the shai is like this. In a case where the husband heard the neder, and the husband was made for the neder, and you say megas gayas. Megas gayas means that he got rid of his portion. You see that one olive that has an X on it? It's gone. It's gone from the world. So if it's gone from the world, and then he dies, so what did he give over to the second chassan? Nothing. There's nothing for him to give over because his olive is gone. It's demolished. So Memela what? Memela, the father, according to Bishami, is going to do it himself. He has one solid olive left, and he's going to do the hafara all by himself. That's Bishami. Beis Hillel say no, miklash kolish. So it's very weak. The whole thing is very weak. And Memela, he actually gives it over. He didn't accomplish anything. You hear what's going on here? The first chassan didn't get rid of anything. All he did is he damaged the olives a little bit. But if you damage, you weaken, that's not an accomplishment. You didn't get rid of anything from the world. So Memela, everything in step 3 transfers over to the new guy. Why? I don't know. There's a little bit of a svara I can tell you. And I said before a svara. What? Yeah, all the weakness transfers over. And Memela, if it transfers over to the chassan number 2, that's why you need partnership from the father and the chassan together. And that is what? That's what Shmuel says. That's what Shmuel says. Shmuel says, in Beis Hillel, we see Shmuel's svara, that what? And Beis Hillel is great. We like to go with Beis Hillel. So it fits in perfectly. That what? There is a case where the Aros, number 2, who you can't even believe and imagine that he has any connection here, he goes together with the father, and he's made for a neder. Why? Because he, so to speak, inherited a neder from the first chassan. He gave it over. If it was megas gayas, if you got rid of 50% of one, and all you left is 50%, so there's nothing for the chassan to inherit. There's nothing for the chassan to inherit. Say bishamai, then you don't need any afara at all. Let's see inside. Now, what about a case that Shmuel says that artist number 2 is Mefer in Bishamai? What do we do over there? Because that's a case, that's the case where, right? That's the case where the artist heard it, but he didn't do anything about it. He didn't damage, and he didn't get rid of it. So if you don't get rid of it, it's in the world, and Memela transfers over to the next chassan, and then you need a partnership to destroy. Yeah, Nachamo? In a case where the chassan does nothing. We're talking about, in this case, why are the olives light and weakened? Because the chassan number 1 did an action. He took action. He said, I'm made for it. Let's say chassan number 1 heard and didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. So what happens to the olives? They stay nice and dark green. And if there's dark green, 2 of them, and then there's a chassan number 2 around, he dies, and the chassan number 2 is there, the chassan too is going to get those strong olives. No, then you're going to need shutvas. No, in a case. Even Beis Shammai agrees. Even Beis Shammai agrees that when the chassan didn't do anything, he didn't open up his mouth, he wasn't mekayim the neder. He wasn't made for the neder, he wasn't mekayim the neder. But he heard the neder, so then it transfers all to the second chassan, you need a shutvas over there. Somebody yesterday, I think one of the kids, answered my thing. He was probably right. Which kid said that you could be mekayim and neder by not saying anything if the day went by? Who was saying it? Which kid? Zalman Tzvi. Yeah, he's right. He stumped me. I didn't want to be made at the time. No, because I'm in the pasuk. It says mafur. It says v'chishla v'kamunu derel. When he's quiet, v'kamu uses even a lashon of kima. I thought, I think he might be right. I'm not 100% positive, but I thought that if you don't do a kiyum, you don't take action, then it becomes a good neder. Not that it's mekuyim, but he's probably right. It becomes mekuyim. Hold on a second. 1 minute. Zalman Tzvi said it. So Zalman Tzvi should come every day with your brother. With your brother. Both of you finish shots together.
Do we have a svara why the second hour is to be
Yeah.
when it's mishpacha and the father can?
So there's a svara in the Ran that he says like this, that it has to be similar, the second Aros should be similar to the first Aros, that the first Aros never had Nedarim that he didn't hear. Something like that. So maybe the second Aros also, as a svara, should be similar to the first Aros, he says. Okay, Zok the Gemara.
What's the nafkamina between these guys?
What? Wait, what's the nafkamina?
What happens if she does this?
Huh?
If it's Mega's guy, what happens if she does what?
No, it's a question. Mega's guy is then no, forget about over. Then you don't need the husband. If you say miklish kolish, you need the husband. But you still say miklish kolish, you need it's shayla halacha. How many people have to be made for the neder? Again, let's go back to this picture. Here's one picture. According to Beis Shammai, look at step 6. The end. This is the halacha. The end is only the father is mefer because it's megas gayas. The chassan, you see there's an X on the chassan, he didn't get anything. He didn't inherit anything. If he doesn't inherit anything, bottom line is, you hear Judah. Bottom line is, the father does it himself. But if the chassan doesn't inherit in step 5, you see, check mark, he inherits, then the halacha is, you need 2 people. That's the nafkim between megas guys and mikdash kolish. Okay, the Ran is afterwards. What part of the Ran? I have no idea where you're looking. You're looking at Taisus, you're looking at the Ran's Pshat. It takes 2 hours to learn this thing. You want to do it now? He's masking. Okay, fine. Weiter. Next. Yeah?
What was the Shmuel's, what did Shmuel say? What's the right?
It's very, very gishmak. It goes like this. No. In this case, just this case. What's the machlokes between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel?
What's the right?
Right. The second, because we have 5 minutes. We have more. No, we didn't finish. No, we boiled. No, okay. Okay.
Let's understand.
We have machlokes Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. In this case, you want this case? You want to see the picture? You don't want to see the picture? When a chassan hears a neder, and he's mefer. He takes action, he's mefer. What happens when he takes the action? What happens? What's in the background? What's the technical? How does it work technically? Nobody else did anything. The chassan took action. Did he get rid of half the neder? Or did he weaken the entire neder, but didn't get rid of anything? Huge nafkamina. If he got rid of half the neder, then he's not moirish anything to anybody. He got rid of half the neder. So what happens to the other half? The same thing that was happening before. There's another person involved. His name is the father. Because when you have a naira murasa, you have a father and a chassan. The chassan took action at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Then comes the father, and he takes care of his thing. The chassan is dead. Who cares? He left 50% for the father to take care of. But if you say that when the chassan took action, he didn't get rid of anything. he left the entire neder as is, / it's weakened. It's in a weakened state. It looks like this. So now, there's something to be moirish to the next guy, to the chassan. So if you're going to be moirish that to the chassan, that's called miklash kolish, you're going to be moirish that to the chassan. So now you have two people involved. You have a chassan and a father. Before, you only had a father because it was not weakened. It was only 50%, and the 50% goes to the father. But this is a whole Yerusha, so to speak. We use the lashon of Yerusha. He's mintak, moirish, whatever you want to call it. He takes these olives in a weakened state, very shvach. By the way, in all cases, when the chassan dies, whatever he did is mevutal. So we have to understand, it's mevutal, not mevutal, fine. But now you need at least two people. But that's exactly what Shmuel said. Shmuel said, a chiddush. That what? That when a woman makes a neder, a woman, I call her a woman, she's a naira, she's a kid. She makes a neder, and she has a first chassan, and he's meifer, and he goes away, he goes bye-bye, and then she gets married even 100 times. The last guy in the list, he has to be meifer the neder together with the father. Why? The answer is, because according to Beis Hillel, it was only a weakened state the entire time. When the first guy was meifer, he only did weakness. Weakness goes on to the next chassan, and from the next chassan to the next chassan, goes all the way to the end. So in chassan number 14 or 100, whatever the chassan is, he all of a sudden inherits. He didn't ask for it. He comes into a shidduch. It was a beautiful shidduch in a cemetery. Plus, not only a crying kala, but plus she has nedarim on her that another chassan saw. But because he inherited it, why did he inherit it? Because it's weak. So he has to come on to the father-in-law. So you need two wrecking balls here. That's the raya to Shmuel. They need two, not one. No, I just told you Bishamai. I know, that's Beis Hillel. And Bishamai is saying Megas Gayas. Megas Gayas means that half the neder is gone. Gone. The half, which half is gone? The half of the chassan. So all chassanim in the world don't get anything. Because he got it. You know what he did to it? He burnt it. It's zero. Nothing there. Here. One olive, the one with the X, is gone. Now you have another olive. Who takes care of that olive? The person that was supposed to take care of it from day one, which is the father. All the chassanim in step 5 don't get anything.
Oh, but if the chassan...
Well, that's a nest that usually we have a longer daf, so I don't have to repeat myself. It's 10. You're just trying to get to 805? What are you trying to do here?
The chassan heard it, didn't say anything, so also no, it's good.
Okay, good. Givaldik. But Mendy, stand up here and tell the Olam, no, you learned the sugi yesterday. Is this how you understood it?
The second time, not at the first time. It's the pshat.
Yeah, you went with Taisus.
No, the first one did the Ram, afterwards went with the Taisus.
I heard a rumor, is it Emes? I heard a rumor that you got up and danced when you heard the Ram's pshat. Emes?
When I understood it.
Show us your dance. Show us the dance you did.
I am donating $20,000 to MDY if he gets up and dances here. No, they'll never happen. He will never do it. He won't do it. He won't do it. He won't do it. Okay. Says the Gemara Boilu. I mean, we could do this tomorrow. We can do it now. Iboilu. Gerushin kishtika damya. You have an orus. You have an orus, yeah? He hears. He gets a shidduch, beautiful shidduch, and it's right after the engagement. Kedarkom bakoidesh. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, everything starts spilling out. By the way, I have this disease and this mishagas and this, and also I have 45 nedarim. Adios, let's go to the cipher. We're writing up a get. They're engaged. Engaged, you have to do a get. So, does that mean that he doesn't care about the nedarim? Does that mean he wants to be made for it? What does it mean I'm giving a get? Does it mean I'm mekayim it or I'm made for it? What is it? Is he's being quiet? He doesn't care. He's ignoring her. He's just going to divorce and get out of there quickly, or he's actually saying, "Oh, all your nedarim I'm mekayim." L'mayin afkimina, kigon shenodra v'shama bala. She made a neder and her oros heard about it. V'gersha, and he divorced her. V'hadra b'yoymei, and he remarried her that day. I have an unbelievable joke, everybody. I want to tell you a joke. There was a guy that divorced his wife. And a minute later, he got remarried to her. So they asked her, like, why? He said, oh, for Zivuk Sheni, she's a good enough. I said it yesterday in the email, but thanks for paying attention. I mean, why did they do this? Who knows? I mean, it's a mitzvah to be machzik rishasai. It's dangerous. You never know if she'll take you back, but it's a mitzvah. Fine. Now, there's a shaila. You know, I have a shaila for the oilam. Here's a good shaila. The Shulchan Aruch paskins that when you get divorced from your wife and you take her back, let's say you take her back, you have to wait the 7 days that every kala in the world waits because of chimud, dam chimud. Does she or doesn't she have to wait 7 days in this case? Over here it says they got married that day. What happened to the 7 days?
There's no chimud. Because he just ditched them.
No, there's a chimud by a wife. There's a chimud, the Shulchan Aruch passage, there's chimud by a ex-wife. I'm asking, is there chimud over here? So there are some say that yes, there is a chimud, and in fact they're being over on that halacha. Or there's no chimud because they were just married a minute ago. Where's the chimud? Okay. Okay, should we stop over here? We'll stop over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.